to start the video.
Yep.
Alrighty, y'all. This is Pedro Garcia with the WiseDome podcast with yours truly,
Isaias.
I know that was supposed to be for me.
Yeah, you were like the cue wasn't very clear.
Yeah, I know. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good, bro. How about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. A little under the weather, man. This Jersey weather got me feeling a little just out of it, man.
Yeah, no, man. Like, this feels like we've been plunged into darkness already, man.
Yeah, oof. It's going to be 100 days of darkness coming. Anyways, so today we were going to talk about, I think, one of the most Orwellian, Matrix-esque kind of like things that's happening in the world right now, where they're now going to be creating like babies out of like pods now.
Well, like, right now it's like a proof of concept video in order to like enthrall investors, but the fact that they put all this on and like they are serious about making this into reality is just very scary.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so if you guys don't happen to know, what has been going on is that there is this biomolecular.
I would be like I would call it a birth clinic factory.
A birth clinic factory.
Yeah.
So apparently there was this concept video of this like factory where they actually artificially make babies. And in this video they had like hundreds of these like little baby pods where they had like embryos like growing inside of these pods. And so apparently people were kind of going a little crazy about what they were watching, because some people were saying that, you know, it was more like a thing that's already happening. That there's this company by the name of EctoLife that was coming up with this concept of like, you know, creating these babies out of nothing. People were arguing, you know, are scientists now thinking, are there scientists now trying to come up with the concept of like, you know, creating life out of nothing and playing the role of God? So there's a lot of things going on, man. I don't know.
I mean, like, for more details of like the whole EctoLife thing, so it's like, you know how like there's like fertility clinics and stuff like that where you can freeze your eggs and use them for later?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if you didn't need a woman to make those eggs.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Presenting EctoLife. Nowadays, you could all indulge in man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Nah, but like it's some crazy like proof of concept video of like them trying to like promote to investors where they market this thing where they can grow a baby inside a pod instead of using like a woman's womb, and it's like miscarriages and C-sections are now a thing of the past. Introducing this weird life pod thing, and it doesn't even just like stop at like a artificial womb thing, but it's also like now with this thing's integration with social media, you can track your baby's development. Watch a speed cam of their development from embryo to fetus. Put on this VR headset, and you could see through the cameras we put on top of the pods, so that you could see things from your baby's perspective. Wear this haptic feedback suit, so you could feel the sensations that your baby's kicking. Like that, like this sounding like
seriously.
Like I'll be honest, Pedro, this is a very like lame apocalypse. If like this just feels very like social media marketing, you know,
right.
for an artificial womb factory. This is pretty cringe.
Yeah. Seriously. My question was like, where do you get this idea? I mean,
Wow. Science fiction?
I mean, definitely, yeah, but like, there were a lot of babies in that video that I saw, and my question was, where did they get not to get all nasty, but where did they get the semen for all these kids? Like, where the fuck were they growing from? The ground?
I would assume that like these like artificial pod things are kind of like maybe they're marketing to couples, like, you know, like if you want to conceive a baby, but you know you don't want to, she doesn't want to get pregnant, you guys can like both like, you know, volunteer some DNA to like, you know, make this thing happen. I would assume like it's to be voluntary, or it's like one of those sperm bank situations where it's gonna be some weird secret government thing.
What? Oh man.
Yeah. No.
Oof. And also apparently you can actually pick like a baby that you want to have, like the color, the eye color, you know, the hair.
Yeah. They also advertise that like they can use CRISPR technology, which is like this like gene editing technology that we have right now. We've had it for like about 5 years, where they can like literally go into the genes of something, like, you know, like change things around if they want to. Very like the technology is very cool, the whole CRISPR thing. But like they're saying like that, oh, we could change your baby's skin color, eye color. We can like take off any like inherited diseases or conditions. We can make them smarter. We can make them taller. We can eugenics.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Population control, man.
Dude, like this literally is like not even just like population control. It is just like literally you know how like you learn in high school about eugenics? Like, you know how you learn how like it has like horrible social implications on like who's like the undesirables and who's like the most like best genetics and like it's a very subjective society. Remember how the Nazis did that and like that was a whole thing in the world? Yeah. How about we sell it to people?
Seriously. Dude, at this point we're getting too smart for our own good, man.
Yeah, man. Like this is like this. Like I'm not like. I'm just saying, if I was some kind of cosmic being, I can see why we need like some kind of like disaster to scare everybody into like realizing that we're all just really really smart monkeys with dabbling in things we shouldn't.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, like
we're playing with kryptonite at this point, man.
Nah, bro, we're playing God. We're playing like not even like this is a really funny thing, Pedro, about this whole video. Like the whole thing's CGI, right? And like it's like it's all supposed to be like a big ad and stuff, but I was raised Catholic, right? But like currently I'm more like spiritual than like religious, right? And like I don't believe that like in most things in terms of like sending people to hell, right? Or like things about the apocalypse or the Antichrist or whatever, right? But this just set off all of that like programming immediately in my head of just like, oh, this is demonic, like straight up demons are real. This is their factory. This is horrible. Yeah. They're gonna literally just like do shit that's just gonna like either like at best create like a Serbian subclass of people or a superclass of people, or at worst literally create soulless creatures that are like psychopathic in some capacity and might destroy the world.
Seriously. Imagine what the government's thinking of doing with these babies.
Super soldiers?
I mean,
that's not above that, honestly.
I mean, that's what Hitler was trying to do with his Nazi soldiers. Apparently, he put them all of them on meth, so that way they could just be because I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah. The World War II was the war on drugs in the sense that the Germans literally used meth in order to like stimulate themselves to do like because on meth you could fight for 3 days straight with no sleeping.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how effective it was.
Holy shit.
That's why they were able to go into France so quickly. The whole Blitzkrieg where they just drove their tanks and like moved their whole infantry in speeds never before seen in warfare. It's because they're all on meth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but like after the Nazis did it, like every government needs like a stimulant to like help their soldiers. So like every country that was fighting World War II had their own like a stimulant that they were using on like their soldiers in order to keep them up and keep them fighting.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine what they would have accomplished if they were on coke.
Were the Americans on coke?
Who knows? We'll save that for the next episode.
Yeah, I research something about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's like this whole thing, right? It's like everyone's talking like oh, like in the comments like, oh, it's all a Black Mirror episode. Oh, this is just like this is an injection for me, But it's like there's certain things that like we need to like develop laws and like rules for before we tap into the technology. Like AI, right? Like we need to come up with like some kind of like rules about AI. You can't raise it to kill people, or you can't torture it. You gotta treat it like a baby, right? Or something like that to not make evil AI that kills humanity, right? We need to put some laws first before we start messing with like gene editing, cloning, or shit like that, right?
Seriously, right, man. I mean, who's to say, man, that they're not putting some crazy fucking psychopathic gene inside these kids?
Oh, they're not even that. Like if you can control like shit, make them smarter or dumber, like what? First off, I don't know if they can really do that. I think that was just part of the ad. But if they can do that, that you can just like crank up somebody's loyalty or like make them completely subservient mentally.
Seriously.
Think about it. Like that's just like or not even that, bro. If you could find some way to just crank the numbers just enough to where they don't have any like upper executive functioning, you can literally just tell them to do whatever you want.
Why?
Think about it, like mindless slaves. Literally no will of their own. They just follow orders.
So essentially, like they'll have an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, like
that's completely unable to do critical thinking.
Yeah, on a genetic level.
Yeah. I don't know how that would be possible. Would these things even have souls? It raises so many questions.
I think
because the soul is it's a spiritual individual entity that lives inside all of us. It's what makes you you. But if these things don't have any sort of like critical thinking, right? Because for you to engage in critical thinking, that's like a soulful kind of activity.
Some higher functioning kind of
It's higher function, exactly. But if you have these babies who are being born without any prefrontal cortex, unable to think for themselves,
I mean, what's a genocide or two? You know, to these
right?
clones. Yeah. Also, on the someone made made a comment that was something I didn't even think about, but like apparently if they're gonna make these weird pods, also like they also advertise you could use Spotify and play music to your baby, and so that because they can learn words while they're in the womb, so you can teach them you can give them an education while they're still developing. But someone was like they gotta put gyroscopes on those pods because like a baby's inner ear, the thing that controls your balance, is developed when when you're inside a womb and your mom is walking around. That helps develop your gyroscopic senses. So if you're literally born in a stationary pod, you're probably not ever going to develop the ability to walk.
Oh my god.
Possibly, bro. That's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
what?
Right. I saw that comment. That makes sense. That makes sense. I got the being inside a womb and moving around in the same rhythm the mom is because the mom's moving, so you're moving like that. You could sense that motion. And if that develops your inner ear, that makes sense, right? I was like, damn, okay, that's a good point. I never thought of that. That's some shit like that that they need to figure out before they make a first baby, and it turns out it can't walk. That'd be terrible, bro.
That would be awful.
Oh, also, organ harvesting could be a thing.
Organ harvesting?
Dude, there was a sci-fi movie. I don't even know what the name of it was, or it was a book. I'm not sure. But there was this a sci-fi story about this future where a company can basically. You pay them to have to make a clone of you, and that clone is just in suspended animation, and it grows alongside you, I guess, in a sense. So then, if you're ever in an emergency where you need new organs, you could just harvest it from the clone. So basically, imagine a company that has you have 10 clones just in a vat somewhere.
Yeah.
That you could just harvest their organs whenever you need it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bro. And it's the movie takes that turn where it's it was one of the clones come awake, and humanity.
Oh man. Oof. Dude, life on Earth is becoming one strange place to be.
Dude, so many things that just seemed unthinkable or just ridiculous or silly. They're all happening, becoming possible, or are in the plans of becoming real. You know what I mean?
Well, remember, back, pop culture has a weird way of predicting the future, right? Back in I remember it was the 70s or the 60s. The Jetsons, right? That was when Jetsons, okay.
Yeah.
The Jetsons, they had the video calls, and people thought that shit was fucking crazy. That was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the other. But look what we're dealing with now. The only thing that we haven't gotten to are flying cars, and I think that's gonna become a reality in the next 100 years.
Personally, I think that the flying car is kind of a dope idea, but it's one of those things where in real life, it's basically a single person plane at that point, right?
Yeah.
So we need to get a pilot's license, not a driver's
license.
Yeah. So we can trust most people on the road with a pilot's license.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, bro. How do you think that these babies, let's say EctoLife does end up, facilitating this baby making plant? How are these babies gonna be fed? I mean. And also, how are they gonna grow up? I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking a daycare, like some weird daycare where they're just being it's not really daycare, where you make the kids play. It's
a training facility for super soldiers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know something you point out how they're gonna feed these weird baby fetus things. I didn't see an umbilical cord in any of those baby pods.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh my god!
There's
how
no
do
umbilical
they feed the babies,
cord,
bro?
There's no umbilical cord. So how the fuck are these babies being fed? How?
Also,
how?
They won't have belly buttons. That'll be a marker for a clone.
Oh yeah.
That was actually a plot for a Disney show I saw when I was a kid, I think.
Oh man.
That's funny. No, but I didn't see this video directly, whatever, right? I saw a YouTuber that talks about cultural events and stuff like that, watching the ad and talking about stuff like that. And one of them, and it was two people, and one of them brought up a really good point that about what would this do for a woman's role in society, I guess, in a sense. Not in the sense of in the sense of being able to birth children is one of the miracles of life that is exclusive in the realm of women, right? But then it's removing that is kind of if you remove the man's ability to make children, it's it's an element of their of being human that just gets put into question, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
This is straight up lizard people conspiracy shit, bro. you can't you can't tell, like, no one wants, like, this is the thing, right? It is good technology to have specifically and only for the cases where there's, like, a family, two people trying to conceive a child together, and, like, they have, like, the same way, like, like in vitro fertilization is, like, right, restricted to basically that very particular circumstance, or like a surrogate circumstance, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. But, like, they're advertising in a way where it's like, you could just buy a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude,
like it's some toy at the toy store. Yeah.
Like you put a monetary amount on, like, you and your partner, like, bro, in this thing too. You don't even have to, like, in the ad they put in, like, they said, like, this, like, you can inseminate the egg and stuff like that. I think, like, I saw an article about, like, in Science they're able to, like, inseminate an egg, a female egg, with, like, genetic DNA from another female. So, like, I'm not exactly sure how they did that, and I think they did that with, like, animals first, not with people first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that happened with a woman yet.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they're able to, like, fertilize an egg without a sperm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like literally anybody could at that point just, like, buy a child,
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, oh, I feel like I want to be a parent. And I saw someone make a comment. It just, it made a lot of sense to me. They were like, part of being the very key cornerstone of being a parent is sacrifice.
Mm.
Like, you sacrifice, your resources, like, you sacrifice your health and your body in order to, like, have a child, raise a child, grow a family, and, like, because of that sacrifice you make, that child becomes infinitely more important to you than, like, anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that thing, before the child was even born, there was already, like, a huge life-altering sequence right before it was born, bro. Like, that is a level of, like, you get invested into that, right? But if you could, like, cut that down in some capacity, or, like, just, like, basically buy a child,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna, some element of your psyche is not gonna, like, latch it down onto the child the right way, and probably gonna raise it.
Yeah, because at this point you're just a foster child. You're a foster parent.
Not even a foster parent. Well, yeah, you could still be, like, foster parent in the sense that, you could still be very loving to this, this child and stuff like that. But, like, even foster parents, they didn't buy a child. They bought the legal right to like, adopt a child, right? That child is, that child's a person. That child wasn't made with money,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like there's some subconscious thing in that, like, tells you to care for this thing like a human being instead of caring for it like a very annoying product.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, people can't be trusted with Tamagotchis. How do you think you can be trusted with, like, artificial babies?
That is a good point. Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. What I mean, I just wonder, like, where are we? What's going on with? Oh, look, like, okay. Let me play a bit of devil's advocate. What would be so satanic about this? What would be so evil? What if these companies, they're raising good kids, if you will?
Well, the reason why I think my satanic panic feelings are coming in is humans getting involved in anything involved with nature is a sin. Like, like, we all have some kind of sense in our mind that, like, humanity's impact on the world has been, like, a very big detriment to it. And not, like, I don't mean, like, like, I'm not an antinatalist. I want people to, live and survive, but I also want the world to, be good.
Yeah.
But, like, humanity, pollutes things, fucks around with things genetically. We have fucked up food. We have fucked up animals because we just kind of got involved in these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's a perfectly good natural phenomena in nature, humanity should not touch it because we fuck it up horribly, and it's always too late for us to do anything about it after we fuck up.
Mm-hmm. I think our curiosity is, like, the biggest detriment to our species.
I mean, like, there's, like, a million ancient myths about, like, stories of people who were, like, either too curious for their own good or, like, were too proud about their intellect, and they just, they fucked up. Like, Icarus flying to the sun. Well, that's not directly, but, the saying for it. Or, like, Pandora's box. She was so curious, she opened the box and let out all evil into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, we kind of do this a lot.
All the time.
Nuclear weapons. Gee, oh my god! I didn't even, like, consider it, but Yo, that is some really fucked up idea. If you can like genetically like make people, if you can like artificially make people and genetically manipulate them or whatever, right? What's to say you make it so that you make it so that they're infertile, let's say, right? You make an entire like clone population of infertile people, right? And let's say you're playing a long game with a society, right? Let's say like you flood this like another like an enemy country with like clones through like some weird like covert operations where like they just show up. No one knows where they came from, right? And, like they were raised like that. They have roles and whatever. They go into society, and then like over the years, there's like the society loses population over the course of like generations because like no one's able to have kids of these genetic people.
Mm-hmm.
Or also, you can like if you can like make genetically engineered babies, you could probably make very heavily genetically engineered or horrible diseases.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or maybe you can make a weird bioweapon where it's like you make a person who's like genetically super susceptible to like diseases but is very resilient so that they can basically become a biological weapon where like you give them a million diseases, they'll survive it, and then like in their body will like develop either like antibodies for it or like make a worse version of it, and then you just set them up to population, and now the people are just super COVID.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. The imagination really can like bring up horrible shit.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What do you think?
Dude, we're fucked, bro. We're fucked.
I guess that's my answer. There you go.
We're just fucked.
We gotta.
We're fucked. I mean. I don't.
Like this is just like there's no way this comes out well, Like there's no outcome I can see where like us fucking around with this technology is gonna end up with good for humanity.
I don't really think it's gonna go through. I think that people are just too freaked out by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like I think most people aren't freaked out by like this is possible, but like most people are freaked out by like the whole cavalier attitude of like these heavy moral implications of these actions, and this company is just like casually advertising it like like it's a social, like an app or something.
Right. And on top of that, they act like it'll be for the good of humankind.
Yeah.
It'll be good for everyone.
Yeah, this will solve the infertility rates in like populated countries. That's literally what they advertise it for, bro.
Yeah, like Japan, South Korea,
America.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, so but what if do you think that this will benefit women over the age of 40 who may not have had kids earlier in their life?
That would be a good use of that technology, I would say.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, like especially if I believe like at 40 you have a better like understanding of your capacity to be a parent. I would hope for, so I think like that might be like good.
Mm-hmm.
But like my issue with the technology is that like it doesn't have any good sides, right? My issue with this thing is that there's no way you're gonna stop this from progressing to becoming either a weapon or like a horrible like a front against God in some capacity. Like we couldn't stop the internet from becoming what it was. You can't. Yeah, like the internet right now is like a beautiful, wonderful place, but it's also like deteriorating into some like other thing that no one actually really expected it to become. Full of like control by big parties and governments, full of like lies and like control, media control, all the algorithms that know everything about you before you even think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like this is something that we didn't really we didn't really see the internet was for.
We talk about Pandora's box. The internet was definitely one of it.
Dude,
we didn't expect it to get to we didn't really expect it to get this far.
Dude, the internet right now is literally something that like if the internet were to just blink off out of existence, it would like throw all of the world into chaos. Like it would literally be like it would be like what people said. What was that apocalypse theory about like when it turned into the year 2000? Y2K.
Mm-hmm.
It would basically be like what people describe Y2K being, where like the world's economies would grind to a halt, all communications would like break, or like be basically destroyed internationally at least. People wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. People might think it's like an attack. Maybe somebody like said they can't communicate with anybody else for a couple of days. Maybe this one was going to be like, well, I guess World War III is already happening. And then just launch the nukes.
Yeah.
But if there's no internet through the GPS, wait, the GPS is a different thing. Never mind. I was about to say, okay, I'm allowed to say if there's no GPS, then the missiles don't work well.
The internet has accelerated, like, I think the modern day enslavement of humanity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not chains anymore. It's web links now. Okay, that was weird.
I think it's saying you only have 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, then we just gotta like.
Well, let's start wrapping things up for now. This will be the first part of a 2-parter.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for checking this out. And please continue watching. Like, comment, subscribe, not describe. A link to my YouTube channel will be on the description box. So please check it out, guys.
And remember, if you want to see that weird, creepy baby factory thing, it's called EctoLife. Look it up.
EctoLife. Yeah.